Hi everyone, welcome back. Chris Stout here. In this episode, we're going to be covering kind of all things SEMA. SEMA is a Special Equipment Marketing Association, is what the acronym stands for. And it's really kind of the, I don't know necessarily holy grail, but one of the bucket list kinds of things for car enthusiasts. I had for the longest wanted to be able to get to go to it and had the opportunity this year with a variety of the other car-related things that are part of this series. So the overview of this, it's going to be SEMA 2024. I think they're subsequently always going to be in Las Vegas. They've had them other places in the past, but Las Vegas really is kind of the largest place to be able to do it, which you'll see why in just a second. I'll give an overview, how to get access in particular if you're not in the automotive industry per se, the hotel booking, some tips, and some highlights. So let's get started. This was the November 2024 version of it. It ran basically a week from the 5th to the 8th of November. It's generally the time that they run, tail end of October, first part of November. So far, according to their statistics, it was the biggest one that they've had to date, 160,000 attendees, which is just really kind of amazing. 2,400 exhibitors, over 1,600 new products covering 1.2 million square feet of convention space, and it really even poured out beyond that. They had events in parking lots, they had cars set up on the sidewalks, they had a number of things outdoors, and it's just really pretty cool and kind of amazing when you're in that area. So getting in, I did not realize that it wasn't open to the general public. I thought it was just something that an event that if you bought a ticket for admission, that you could be able to get to go. It is not. When you go to their website, I'll have links in here for all these things as well as in the show notes. You find out very quickly that you have to apply to be able to gain admission. If you're in the auto industry, it's a lot easier, but you still have to prove that, like, for example, a pay stub or other kind of proof of ownership or proof of being an employee. Since I do not work per se in the motorcycle or automotive areas, my ability to be able to get in was as media. So, and hence also kind of part of that, very meta here, is doing this description about it on YouTube on my channel. So by virtue of it, I had to submit my credentials to be vetted as well. Just because you have a podcast or a YouTube channel or whatever doesn't automatically get you in. As you note here, the very first thing is a prior year approval. Even if you've gone last year or a prior time, doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to be able to get in this year or in subsequent years. So when you go to their website, you put in a variety of different kinds of data and information. It's really pretty straightforward, and you can, obviously be honest with it and be specific and tailored with it to what it is that you are able to provide and what you're committing to and promising to do. Again, it's just really pretty straightforward. The things that made a difference for me, I believe, was just I have a very good audience. Thank you, and thank you for watching this. And also the amount of time, oh my gosh, I think we have over 81,000 views on our motorcycle and car channel on YouTube to date. And that's been 2 years-ish in the making. First year on BMW motorcycles and second year on the Corvette and road racing. And then also over 4 million aggregated across all platforms with the podcast and the YouTube channels, as well as going into our 8th season on the podcast. So it's not like someone can just be sort of quote unquote an influencer and throw something up on a couple of Instagrams or TikToks and be able to gain access. They vet these, and I think they take it very seriously. And then basically what you'll get, you like have a summary of what your credentials are, etc. I did this by virtue of creating PDFs of the YouTube channel and aggregated audience reach and the LinkedIn. I also have a LinkedIn Top Voice newsletter that drops monthly. That's got over 157,000 subscribers to it. So I think they see this and see it as being pretty legitimate. Then finally, you just sort of get a final review of your information as to who you are, what's going on, your address, etc. Hotel booking, certainly you can do this on your own. There's a lot of hotels around Las Vegas, not a whole lot, honestly, around where the convention center is, but there's a monorail and stuff to get around, or certainly you can take Ubers or you can go for long walks. I booked it through the SEMA site, and I did this very, very early. As soon as I was granted acceptance into SEMA as media, that I immediately then booked the hotel. I did the Hilton Resorts World. There's also a Conrad there that's a little bit more expensive. But I will tell you that it was a very nice hotel, very nice mall right there as part of it. Nice restaurants, including one with vegan options, which is nice. A little disoriented the first time kind of walking through because you don't have any external landmarks or anything to look out windows or anything, but kind of once you make your way there, it's pretty straightforward. They also have an amazing gym that's included, and just again, very, very, very nice rooms. You see the SEMA when SEMA is in town everywhere. This is the hotel building that I was in, and you see, all the other kinds of activities and stuff that are going on around there. This was, again, it was very close walking distance, which made it very nice as well. And then this was the mall that I was making mention of. So they have a variety of different kinds of restaurants there and shopping and whatnot. So some tips, sort of I alluded to earlier, register early. It's money saving, but I guess a lot of people just kind of show up and register, which I can't imagine doing. I don't know what it costs, because another benefit of going and being accepted as media is that there was no ticket charge, so that was nice and honestly a surprise. I would have been happy to pay a reasonable amount for a ticket to be able to get in and have access, but didn't have to do that. So if you do go regular, pardon me, route, then they will mail your credentials to you. If you go in as media, you have to get there and pick them up. By virtue of my flight from Chicago and getting there, et cetera, is really kind of a hustle and bustle to make it before 6 o'clock the night before, so I could get all my credentials. A little chaotic with watching pre-show setup and that type of thing, but all was well and got my credentials, and everything worked out just fine that way. Plan ahead, really do your homework once you know that you're going to the website, and I will tell you, tip of the hat, download the app. It was super helpful. You can create your own schedule. You can find out where certain things are. It had a very good search. There are certain things that I just could not find after going through the paper materials and doing a lot of walking around. It is so huge, it's hard to find something that might be somewhat smaller or esoteric or kind of niche. So this was just really super helpful to be able to do that, to make contacts with people, to keep track of things, to get oriented to where the heck you are in the convention center. Really, really helpful tool, and very well designed, intuitive, and user-friendly. And then comfortable attire. Man, you will see people kind of kitted out in some odd outfits, which is fine. There's a lot of quirky, interesting people that attend this as well, too. But you will be walking a lot. So, just dress for that to be comfortable with it. My very first day, and I think it just probably stayed consistent after that, was just about 6 miles of walking around. So it's fun. You actually kind of don't notice it. I'm guessing, if you're in fairly decent shape, that it's not a big hardship or anything, but you will get the mileage in, because you're just so, for me, there's a lot of adrenaline, there's a lot of excitement. You think, take a break and maybe you'll grab a bite or get something to drink and then go back at it, and you just go and go and go. Along those lines, just bring water. There's a Starbucks centrally inside. Be prepared to pay premium prices. There's a variety of things that they do have available there. I walked by a Walgreens every day, so if you want to pick up protein bars or power snacks or waters or whatever it is that's your cup of tea, there's obviously other ways to do it. Walgreens wasn't that much cheaper than internally, so just keep that in mind. There is a lot of free transportation via the monorail that I mentioned as well. And there's kind of a cool thing. I did not. The lines were too long, and I just thought, well, I'll just walk and get some exercise with that too. There is a thing called the Las Vegas Loop, and it's Ubers that kind of circle through in a little underground tunnel that pop you up and down in different areas of the convention center. So if there had been shorter lines, I probably would have just done it for the heck of it to see what it was like. But it looks cool. That's all free. The very first night when I was trying to make my way around other places, I had just missed the last one. So they don't run all the time, 24 hours. So no, it's kind of disappointing if you're saying, oh, my feet hurt, but I'll just take the Uber back via the Las Vegas Loop to get back. And sometimes it may not be running when you would like it to be. And then educational opportunities. I'll show and talk more about those, but it's really pretty amazing the kinds of things that they have. They have a lot of demonstrations going on. There's like a guy polishing a Cybertruck to make it basically like a mirror, which seems like that would be kind of dangerous for other people around it. But a lot of people applying film materials to cars and wheel packages and just all sorts of things. So plus just a variety of other kinds of education things that you can sign up for. Most of them are free. These are the ones that I signed up for. You can do that in advance. You can track it in the app. And it's kind of a neat way to keep track of things. All sorts of people, all sorts of things. Talking about how to look good on LinkedIn. Clever things like that, not just mechanical, technical kinds of things. And then just a lot of motivational speakers as well. There's Bear Grylls kind of talking. So cool things, not just all technology or technician or mechanics related. Take a lot of business cards. I actually had special cards made up this year specific to motorsports, so those were very handy to be able to do with this. And then also, if people didn't have cards, I would take pictures of their tags. People are very friendly with being able to do something like that, and then following up with them subsequently if they didn't have cards. And just really enjoy the experience. You can make it an endurance sport if you want. You don't have to, though. I was really kind of up and at 'em. I'd get up, have a workout. One downside about the room is that they didn't have coffee in the room, which was bad for me. But my workout, I guess, sort of a substitute for that. There is SEMA Fest, which I do believe is open to the public and has tickets purchasable for that. You don't have to be admitted to SEMA to be able to get a SEMA Fest. I think that might have been new for 2024. And SEMA Fest is a lot of the outdoor stuff and concerts. Industry Night is kind of a banquet kind of setting for that. I did not go to that. I didn't feel it was appropriate, and covering it wouldn't really necessarily fit into the tenor of the channel. And again, just various outdoor events, drifting stuff. You'll see a lot of that in the very last video in this video. Again, long days, so be ready for it and stay flexible. Talk about serendipitous discoveries. I just sort of had random conversations with people that would just kind of come up to you. One lady came up to me and said, "Why? What was it that brought you to SEMA? Or what's the best thing you've seen so far, and whatnot?" And she was a PR person. Wasn't trying to drum up business, but just friendly. And then I wound up connecting with her a couple of other times at some of the places that she was working with. So it's neat. There's a guy that I had met at the road rally that I had done 2 weeks before. He was out there kind of covering it. He has a podcast specific to automotive buying and selling and esoterica, so it's kind of neat. He and I made a time to meet out there as well, so that was cool. Highlights, golly mercy, this is what it looks like, and this is acres. They should measure this in thousands or hundreds of thousands of square feet. It is acres. So if you look towards the left side, the blue side, and the kind of gray area, I was probably about a half a mile further to the left of what this design shows of the West Hall. So you can kind of, strategically, just for me, geographically kind of coming that way every day. Even just west of the West Hall is the where they had an outdoor burnouts and the guy polishing the Cybertruck that I was talking about, et cetera, et cetera. There's even tricked out snowmobiles and whatnot in Las Vegas, which was kind of funny to see. So I won't go through all these. You can, pause this and read them, but you kind of get an idea of what the flow is like. I'll tell you one other thing that people after this won't have to deal with. They're doing a major addition and renovation. So we had a lot of areas where you had to do a little extra walking and getting lost and whatnot because of all the construction. So they paused most of the construction during the show. So there wasn't noise or dust or anything along those lines, but there were still areas that were blocked off. So again, I don't think that'll be any problem for 2025 and beyond. It'll probably be even better since there will be more space and whatnot. But just really a neat, clever way of how they manage this. And again, this just gives you kind of an overview of what it's like to be there on the premises. It just really, there was some standout moments. I can't do this. Would be like a 5-hour video if I did everything, but the cars there are just really kind of amazing. What you see right here is a Rolls Royce with a blown, I don't know what, kind of V8 in it with the headers just shooting straight up. And then I think something Japanese, I want to say a Toyota, I'm not super sure, with a similar kind of engine setup. These are the drift cars, the burnout cars. They will go out there and burn out until their tires explode and come back on the rims, which is kind of crazy. Not super environmentally friendly, but kind of crazy. They have like a burnout rodeo, etc. And a lot of these things are kind of neat that it's like adults and younger adults that have driver's license, high schoolers, college maybe, that build these cars collaboratively together and then come out to events like this. So it's kind of a neat hands-on project-based kind of opportunity to get people the exposure and the fun and the camaraderie of doing something along these lines. There's also it's kind of crazy. The cars that you see there, this looks like a ho-hum, no big deal. It's meant to look like a Ford, but it's actually an Audi RS7. And if you know those, they are like supercars. They're amazing. I might have misspoken, RS6, I guess. RS7's the hatchback. But this is actually the car that set the world record for the Cannonball Run from New York to Los Angeles. There's a lot of this on YouTube, but the benefit they had was they did it during COVID. And I think this is going to be a tough record to beat, probably, unless someone's already done it and I'm just unaware. But 25 hours, 35 minutes, and it was really kind of neat to see this car there in the flesh. The guys that had driven it were there, chit-chatting about it and answering questions. So just all sorts of, wild engineering. I took 525 photos and shot 18 videos there. They are I'm not going to go through all those. I'm going to give you a super highlight reel, super distilled down in this video, but they all are available to watch on Flickr, and that's my link on Flickr. You could probably just do Flickr Dr. Chris Stout and I guess get to them as well too, and SEMA, and that would get to there as well. But this just gives you kind of a little appetizer, a little abstract, a little taste of kind of the amazing and crazy kinds of vehicles that were there. So again, technology, gosh, in so many different kinds of ways, so many things that now are available off the shelf, really sort of cool with that. A lot of celebrity appearances as well. In terms of the technology, it's just 2 samples. I'll give you some more in a minute, but a lot of electrified 911s. The black and rainbow one is one there. I think is maybe the first one I came across. The one on the right is an autonomous vehicle that kids from Clemson University do. And I guess they've done vehicles, gosh, I don't know how many years in a row, but they always take on project vehicles. I think this might have been the first one to SEMA. Don't quote me on that. But I got to chat with one of the students that worked on it. It's bachelor's, master's, and PhD students and faculty that collaborate on this. They get grants. I think this one was from the DoD, and this was a vehicle to take wounded military personnel off a battlefield and be able to treat them in situ, as well as being able to get them to medical safety. Celebrity appearances. I mean, again, it was just really kind of a who's who of folks there that very notable, and just sometimes doing autographs, sometimes casual. being able to see them and have a conversation with them was just really kind of fun. And again, just superstars. And you'll see them just like kind of walking around there, looking at the cars too. So that really kind of neat ability to do that. As I mentioned before, bring the business cards. There's a lot of networking opportunities. I'm now also working with kind of placement and brokering of matching people with cars and esoteric motorcycles. So, check out the Stout Engineering on our website. You'll find out more about that if you have an interest as well. But it's just really kind of neat. Battle of the Builders competition, just really amazing. This is one of the parking lots that I mentioned near the West Wing where the kids come out and do their thing. Just really kind of amazing. On the opposite side, tip of the hat to Optima. I was part of their Road America series this year, and just really enjoyed that, racing around in the Corvette in the Ultimate Streetcar Challenge. And then that dragon thing, tank, whatever it was, at night shot out fire. And then they would do a variety of events here. It also gave me the opportunity to reconnect and see some of the folks that I had competed with at Road America, and that these are the guys that and gals that had made it to the SEMA event. Pardon me, product showcases. I mean, oh my gosh, there's like a whole section just on audio, a whole section just on tires, a whole section just on kind of you name it is there. And again, kind of nicely, as opposed to the burnout areas, a lot of environmental initiatives. This was a, I can't remember, 55, I think, might have been 57, I think 55 Chevy that had a supercharged V8 engine in it, which you'd say, well, gosh, I've seen about 1 million of these here. What's unique about this, vis-a-vis being eco-friendly, is that it was hydrogen run. And I cannot tell you how the technology is on this car that it could take hydrogen in the trunk to run a what I presume is somewhat of an internal combustion of some sort engine in the front, but really kind of amazing, and to do it all within a classic car as well. And again, yet another, I really like the paint job on this one, yet another electric 911. My favorites, okay, this is from Kindig, the guy that does the Bitchin' Rides on Motor Trend or HBO Max. He won the prestigious Riddler Award with this car last year. Be sure to check him out. Dave is just an amazing guy, very accessible to people, and this car was just really kind of the pinnacle, built from scratch kind of car, with an homage to 50s Corvette. Also, the thing that I learned about this, I thought that basically when you would see Dave Kindig at an event like this, it's competing with cars, and that's true. But for the vast majority of display cars, they are being displayed because, not just because they're excellent and beautiful pieces of engineering and clever, design and style, but like Akzo Nobel is the company that this is, the paint company that this car is painted in. So those companies that have products, be it paint, be it wraps, be it wheels, be it engines, be it whatever it is that a company might produce commercially that could then be used on these kinds of cars, they will then bring out as the sponsors the builders, the designers, the whoever's for these cars to be able to then say, here's what our product looks like on a car like this. And if you use our product, and you're then, great other designers and builders do this as well. And it will also then showcase the fact that, you use premium products to be able to do premium builds. And again, this car was just amazing, just up and down, top and bottom, and understandably why it won the Riddler last year. And then some more highlights. Here's some weird stuff. I forget, I think there's like 12, 24, I forget, something like that. The number seems to ring familiar, of Ford Mustang GT 500s. But what's unique about this is that they made it right-hand drive. I mean, it's like, I don't know necessarily a good reason why you'd want to do that other than just to be unique and different. But it's sort of one of those very subtle things that you don't even notice. You see a lot of Shelbys, you see a lot of Eleanor tribute cars, that type of thing, Mustangs. But you don't see a whole lot of them that do that and then have gone to the extra effort of making it right-hand drive, which just seems kind of crazy. Jay Leno was there, and he was kind of touting the, I don't know if this is the splash of it, but the new Corvette ZR1, which is just really beautiful. Beautiful paint, beautiful design. Love the hood air intakes, and even down to the wheels. So just an amazing kind of American supercar, if you will. In the road rally that I had done a couple weeks before coming out to do this, a lot of the time there were two Ferrari Dinos, or well, I guess I could call them Ferrari Dinos. That's fair. But there were two Dinos, and just amazing. You don't see those on the road very often. They are probably now mid six-figure cars at least. And one, every shift, you could tell every shift, because there's a little puff of smoke and you could just smell it. And another shift, another puff of smoke, et cetera, et cetera. It's like, oh my gosh. So this, I wish we would have been following. This is an electrified Dino. They called it the Dino EV, built by Current. It was just beautiful. I mean, beautifully rendered in that paint, beautiful interior, et cetera. And again, just think about the engineering that it took to be able to recreate this, but electrify it. And the little gas cap, former gas cap, is actually the plug-in for the charger. And the interior is just beautiful. I mean, look at, I mean, I don't know if there's anything original in that, maybe the windshield, but just a beautiful, beautiful piece of engineering. And speaking of which, I mean, you see cars like, who would have thought about an electrified Dino? Well, here is a AMG, Mercedes, SLR, McLaren, which are supercars and amazing, just untouched. But here's one that they made sort of like into a speed racer car. And these photos, I'd need a whole video to do it justice. But they took the car, they took the windshield off, they took the top off, they put in these little half cone kind of wind screens. And I'll just get you some more shots here. Here's what it looks like on the driver's side. And then sort of a halo, if you will, like you would have on a Formula One car, connecting between the rear, probably individual roll bars, and the front, in case someone would ever roll this thing, which would probably be pretty close to impossible. It might take flight, but I doubt that it could be rolled. And just an amazing car. I mean, they wide-bodied it. I mean, who does something like this to a car that's already, probably worth, $500,000, $750,000, whatnot? So that was cool. A couple cars down from it. This is kind of like just the tease of it. But so what you're about to see, because you wouldn't realize it if you saw this just on the road, is that it's probably a 62. I don't know if it even says in here. Put it in the comments once you see the body, if you know what year this was. I'm guessing maybe 61, 62-ish, early 60s, 230 SL, beautiful car, again, in and of its own. But they put it on an SLK 55 chassis, and it's powered with an AMG V8, which is just, imagine just conceptualizing all this, let alone building it. So that's what it says, pardon me, underneath the hood. And here is that beautiful hand-built AMG engine and a beautiful jewel box of an underhood. And then we go to the back, and again, I don't have enough photos of this, but look at this interior. That is not what you would expect in a early 60s Mercedes SL. It's got side skirts. And again, I have to say, you might not appreciate it from these photos, and that's my fault, but that it's elegantly done. I mean, it's very, very subtle kinds of things where you still see the original of it. And it kind of catches your eye and looks like, oh, they did this or did that. But then as you start to kind of walk around and take it apart, it's really pretty amazing. I mean, the three pipes out the back and the rear, it's not really, I guess it's a rear skirt. It's not really a diffuser, and the wing, etc. It's just beautiful. And again, craftsmanship, amazing. Paint quality, depth of the paint, just amazing. And then you see like a Frankenstein Buick Skylark. Oh my gosh, this is probably, I'm guessing, a 64-ish, early to tippy-toeing into maybe, mid 60s. Oh my gosh, just really an amazing build, I think. I just, how do you conceptualize and come up with this? The interior is nuts. I mean, this looks like a console out of an 80s or 70s van, 69 Dodge van or something. But just really, regardless, beautifully executed, lovely seats, wonderful use of materials. But look at this engine. I mean, it is just nuts. And you can't really tell from this shot, but there is half of the hood is missing. It's back on the back. I have a shot of it. It doesn't appear here. It's on my Flickr shots. But they kind of make this, I don't know what you'd even classify this, like a Frankenstein, a resto mod, I don't know what kind of car, but I just loved it. It was just really, really cool and amazing. And I don't know what kind of engine is in it, but it's obviously twin turbocharged and just really kind of nuts. And here it is from the side, boxed fender flares. And, who does this to a 60s Skylark? I mean, Skylark doesn't get much love anyway, but really pretty amazing and cool. And even, back down to the trunk of fuel cell and cooling systems and stuff. And you can see if you look above, kind of in mid shot, it's open to the rear axle, which is just really kind of nuts. And this car was there not because to showcase the builder as selling cars like this or building cars like this for you, although of course that's possible, I presume, but it's to demonstrate the quality and the results of using carbon fiber wrap. So everything, and I thought everything that I saw looked like carbon fiber was indeed carbon fiber. That piece of the hood that I told you is missing is set to the side, and it looks like it's all carbon fiber. And they said, no, it's a wrap. And if you look just below, like what the bumper is, it looks like it's a carbon fiber bumper from this shot, just before the trailer hitch, which I love. And it's not. It's all wrap. So again, if you're thinking about, oh man, I'd love to carbon fiber wrap this or that, then it would make you say, oh, well, this might be a company that I would want to use their product. Other things that will kind of catch you by surprise, there are actually two DeLoreans. One was a homage to Back to the Future, which is not unusual. They're pretty, dime a dozen actually. This one I have never seen before. This one is stuffed with a Ferrari V8 engine in the back, which I think is probably would make the car much more fun. But then imagine everything else you have to do to it to make that work. Tip of the hat to the Hoonigans. They had a kind of a huge display there, which is really nice, and it's just really sort of sad to think about, what has happened with the loss of kind of the Uber Hoonigan there, number 43. So I know this car was out doing some things, but I missed it, and just feel very sad and mixed feelings about the loss of Ken Block with his accident. He really kind of brought this brand, and his skill set and stuff was just really kind of amazing. So very, very cool to see this car. There's a lot of it I remember seeing in the early days of them putting this thing together and trying to dial it in and fix it and get things going to do what they wanted it to do. So neat to see it in the flesh. Okay, just when you think you've seen everything, how many people have seen a true Humvee, not not the publicly generally available one, but a military grade Humvee that has 6 wheels and has four rear wheel steering in it. They've moved the engine to the back. I have other photos on Flickr. The engine's in the back. It's just headers that combine to almost like a Formula One exhaust. It is just over the top. So the engine's actually kind of like halfway in what would be the back seat passenger area, and then out and exposed. I mean, just people who. And this wasn't the only one. I mean, there's some other military grade Humvees that were there too. They were just kind of crazy. So this was wild. It's a little gaudy for me. It certainly is over the top, but again, conceptualization and execution, is just what impressed me with this. So very, very cool. Also, in one of the Battle of the Builders, this was stiff competition. Everything was very, very different. But someone made a tribute James Bond Aston Martin. So it had an ejector seat. It had a bulletproof plate that popped out the back. It has the tire chewing things on the wheels. So if you remember that Sean Connery James Bond film, I think you can tell below the headlights, there's the turn signals have popped down, and there's machine gun nozzles pointing out. The ramming part of the bumper, they're extended out. So, and I presume the license plate would flip too. So I thought, what a clever, fun car to be able to build. And again, you look at the interior and whatnot, it is just spectacular. It is just beautiful. The quality and the craftsmanship was not, diminished by virtue of making just kind of a fun tribute car to 007. And again, maybe one of the goofiest things, Mazda Miata, teeny weeny little car, had a Lamborghini V12 in it in the front. And of course, that would not give you nearly enough power that you would need to be able to push that car around. So they added twin turbochargers. And of course, since nothing would fit under the hood, they just, lifted out, which again, I just love that. I love seeing all these kinds of nozzles and hoses and pipes and whatever is just all, popping out of the hoods, like the Buick as well. So, holy cow, what a wonderful, wonderful event. I've so enjoyed it. It was, again, for me, just really a bucket list kind of thing. I went out and did my miles every day to kind of go see what was going on and just really enjoy it and have a wonderful time. So, links to everything that I covered in here is at the semashow.com/media. So again, if you're interested in it, those are some ways. Hopefully my tips and suggestions might be helpful to get you there, and then as well to enjoy the show once you are there. So thanks very much for watching. That'll end my part of this, and then we'll end the show up with the SEMA video. Thanks for watching. Take care. Drive safe.
We're here at the 2024 SEMA show. I'm Mike Spagnola, President and CEO of SEMA. 1.2 million square feet of manufacturers, over 2,400 manufacturers here at the show this year, 160,000 people in total.
We had an amazing breakfast kickoff morning. The cars are great. The people are even bigger. Either Fawn Gittin Jr., Drifters, Rippers, Gripper, Chris Jacobs, Jay Leno, so many amazing people. The cars are obviously the stars, but the people make the cars go.
It's really about innovation. It's really about buyers and sellers coming together, all of us celebrating this car culture.
It's just such a special place to engage with our industry and keep moving forward.
That's what it is, man. It's a platform to meet people, network, and then if you're lucky enough, you can somehow or another do something like this. And I still can't believe that we were able to.
What is SEMA? Oh my gosh, can you do that in the amount of time we have? SEMA is for anybody who even remotely thinks that cars are cool, whether it's the engines or the electric, vehicles, or you think tires and wheels are the best thing ever. There's something for everybody here. So no matter what it is that you like about cars, if you're passionate about anything in any way, you're going to find it. There's something for everyone.
SEMA to me is filled with versatility and dynamic builds and people and products.
So I'm like a kid in a candy store. Who wouldn't want to be at the biggest automotive show?
SEMA is a must-attend event and on so many gearheads' bucket lists for a very good reason.
I see this really simply, that this is about the whole customer experience. I mean, they want to make it theirs, and it's this really symbiotic relationship. We really have a very close relationship that I think one can't really exist without the other. One's strong, then both are strong.
So SEMA's a lot of different things when you're talking about the show. What you're dealing with is the single largest gathering of performance brands and performance accessory brands.
Our involvement with SEMA has really translated to a ton of new business for Redline in a number of ways. We've partnered with other SEMA member companies to create new innovation and to have collaborations.
There's no other place to meet and see customers, promote your products than the SEMA show.
Yeah, Battle of the Builders is a networking place 100%. You're gonna meet like-minded people, you're gonna meet hard-working people, and you're gonna meet the best builders in the entire world.
It's really kind of like the pinnacle of, I guess, young guys showing off what they can do.
Essentially, it's the best of the best that show up here to showcase your work amongst other people that are in the industry, and you all have the same passion.
And we're showcasing it all in one spot.
Just won the Battle of the Builders, went from 40 to 12 to 4, and Classic Car Studio came out as the winner.
SEMA show, let's send it!